On December 14, 1985, Flight CX-791 vanished without a trace. The plane, carrying 162 passengers and crew, disappeared over the Arctic during one of the most brutal winter storms in recorded history. The last transmission from the cockpit was chilling.
Mayday, mayday. We've lost engines 1 and 3. Severe icing. Altitude dropping fast. Requesting immediate.
The message cut off mid-sentence, leaving air traffic controllers in stunned silence. For nearly 4 decades, the fate of Flight CX-791 remained one of aviation's greatest mysteries. Search teams scoured the Arctic for months, but the plane seemed to have been swallowed by the ice. Families of the passengers were left with unanswered questions, their grief frozen in time. Then, in February 2024, a military satellite scanning the Arctic Circle detected an unusual metallic shape buried deep within the ice. The discovery sparked a daring expedition led by Dr. Elena Carter, a polar explorer who had dedicated her life to solving the mystery of Flight CX-791. The expedition begins. Dr. Carter's team was a hand-picked group of experts, each with a unique skill set. There was Mark Harris, a former Air Force pilot turned crash investigator, Dr. Priya Kapoor, a forensic scientist known for her work on cold weather preservation, and Jack O'Connor, a survival specialist with decades of Arctic experience. Rounding out the team were 12 technicians, 3 medics, and a group of ice engineers. Together, they formed a well-oiled machine, ready to face the unknown. The expedition transported 90 tons of equipment to the site using 4 heavy-lift helicopters. The camp was set up with military precision, insulated living quarters, satellite communication systems, and a state-of-the-art thermal imaging setup. The temperature hovered at -45 degrees Celsius, and the wind howled like a vengeful spirit, but the team was prepared for the worst. The first clue. On the 3rd day, a drone equipped with deep scanning radar detected a metallic object buried 20 meters below the ice. The team rushed to the site, their breath forming clouds of frost in the air. As they dug through the ice, a haunting sight emerged. The tail of an aircraft, its paint still visible despite decades of burial. The discovery sent a wave of emotion through the team. For Dr. Carter, it was personal. Her uncle had been a passenger on Flight CX-791, and she had grown up hearing stories about his final journey. She knelt beside the tail, her gloved hand brushing against the frozen metal. "We're bringing you home," she whispered. The frozen time capsule. As the team carefully excavated the plane, they uncovered a scene frozen in time. The cabin was eerily preserved, a snapshot of the final moments of Flight CX-791. Frozen cups of coffee sat on tray tables, their contents long since turned to ice. A child's stuffed bear lay in the aisle, its glassy eyes staring into the void. Open magazines and half-eaten meals told the story of lives interrupted. But the most chilling discovery came when they found the cockpit. The pilots were still at their stations, their hands gripping the controls. The instruments were frozen in place, forever capturing the moment of the crash. Dr. Kapoor examined the scene with a mix of awe and sorrow. "It's like they're waiting for someone to finish the flight," she said. The diary of survival. In the wreckage, the team found a diary belonging to flight attendant Sarah Mitchell. The entries revealed a harrowing tale of survival. Of the 162 people on board, 78 had survived the initial crash. Captain Robert Hayes had taken charge, organizing the survivors into groups and rationing food and water. The diary described the first 2 weeks after the crash. The survivors had built makeshift shelters from luggage and seat cushions, huddling together for warmth. They melted ice for water and used emergency flares to signal for help, but no one came. As the days turned into weeks, hope began to fade. The final entry was dated January 1, 1986. Sarah's handwriting was shaky, the words barely legible. "We're running out of time. The cold is too much. If anyone finds this, please tell my family I love them." The black box. The team's most critical discovery came on the 10th day, the plane's black box. Despite decades in the ice, the data recorder was intact. The recordings revealed the final moments of Flight CX-791 in heartbreaking detail. At 11:42 p.m., the plane had entered a zone of extreme turbulence. The temperature outside dropped to -65 degrees Celsius, causing instant icing on the wings and engines. Captain Hayes fought to stabilize the plane, but the conditions were too severe. "We're going down," he said calmly. "Brace for impact." The recording ended with the sound of the crash, followed by silence. The final farewell. As the expedition prepared to leave, Dr. Carter paused to take one last look at the site. The mystery of Flight CX-791 had been solved, but the emotional weight of the discovery was overwhelming. She thought of the passengers and crew, their lives cut short by a cruel twist of fate. She thought of her uncle, whose memory had driven her to this frozen wasteland. "We did it," she said softly. "We brought them home." The legacy. The expedition's findings revolutionized aviation safety. New protocols were implemented to prevent icing-related accidents, and the data from the black box led to advancements in aircraft design. But for Dr. Carter and her team, the true legacy of Flight CX-791 was the closure it brought to the families of the victims. As the helicopters lifted off, the Arctic returned to its silent, frozen state. But the story of Flight CX-791 would live on, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the enduring power of hope. And somewhere in the icy expanse, the polar bears watched, guardians of a mystery that had finally been laid to rest. The unexpected twist. Just as the team was about to leave, a technician discovered something unusual in the cargo hold. Among the frozen luggage and supplies was a small, sealed container. Inside, they found a collection of letters, each one addressed to a loved one. The letters were written by the survivors in the days following the crash, detailing their hopes, fears, and final goodbyes. One letter, written by a young mother to her infant daughter, brought the team to tears. "My darling, if you're reading this, know that I loved you more than anything in this world. I'm so sorry I won't be there to see you grow up, but I'll always be with you in your heart and in your dreams." The discovery added a new layer of depth to the tragedy, reminding the team that behind every statistic was a human story, a life cut short, and a legacy left behind. The emotional reunion. When the team returned to civilization, they organized a memorial service for the victims of Flight CX-791. Families from around the world gathered to honor their loved ones, many meeting for the first time. The letters found in the cargo hold were given to the families, providing a final connection to those they had lost. Dr. Carter stood before the crowd, her voice trembling with emotion. "We came to the Arctic to solve a mystery, but what we found was so much more. We found courage, resilience, and the enduring power of love. These letters are a testament to the strength of the human spirit, even in the face of unimaginable adversity." As the families read the letters, there were tears but also smiles. For the first time in decades, they felt a sense of closure, a chance to say goodbye. The enduring mystery. While the expedition had solved the mystery of Flight CX-791, it also raised new questions. Why had the letters been preserved so perfectly, as if waiting to be found? Dr. Carter couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to the story, something beyond human understanding. As she stood on the edge of the Arctic, watching the ice stretch endlessly into the horizon, she wondered how many more secrets lay hidden in the frozen wilderness. For now, the mystery of Flight CX-791 had been solved, but the Arctic would always hold its secrets, waiting for the next brave soul to uncover them. And so, the story of Flight CX-791 became more than just a tale of tragedy and loss. It became a story of hope, resilience, and the unbreakable bonds that connect us all, even in the face of the unknown.